So how did Wilderness Athlete come about? I can give you the exact date and time. September 4th, 1988, in the San Pedro Parks Wilderness, I had drawn an elk tag, an archery elk tag. I'd never hunted elk with a bow in my life. In fact, I'd never hunted elk in my life. And I went up with my friend Todd, and he was going to educate me on this. So I had a backpack. We were packing into base camp. I had probably 75 pounds on my back. All I know is it was uncomfortable. And we go walking in the dark, and we start coming out after about 2 hours into this clearing. And I get to the clearing, and Todd pulls out this tube. He's gonna try an elk bugle. And again, I've never heard an elk bugle before. So he gives this response, and he actually said to me, he said, you know, the odds of anything responding are pretty slim. It's too early in the season, which meant nothing to me. No sooner did he stop his bugle than an elk bugled from across the park at the bottom of a draw in the fog. You couldn't see it probably 300 yards away. And I was stunned. I just sat there. I never heard anything like that. I looked to Todd, and he was gone. He was already 75 yards running downhill, jumping across the creek. I take off running after him. And of course I couldn't catch up to him, and I'm heaving and hoeing and jump this creek and about trip and run up the other side at a steep pitch. And I see Todd, he's yelling at me to get down. I dump my pack. I found a down tree with a big root system. I jump in the hole with my bow, and I'm sitting there trying to catch my breath, think I'm gonna throw up, and all of a sudden I hear these limbs and branches were literally breaking. And I look up, and about 50 yards away, I can see this elk coming through, screaming, just breaking branches. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't know if I was supposed to drop the bow and run. I didn't know if I was supposed to take shelter. I had never experienced anything like that in my life. So I get ready, and no sooner did I get ready than the bull whirled and took off. He caught our scent. And I just laid down, and I was like, what in the world was that? I was sick to my stomach. I wanted to throw up. I was fatigued, I was confused and dazed, and I looked at Todd, and now Todd was in hog heaven. And why do I give you that story? Because having been an athlete in my entire life, I have never physically been that spent. And I realized if traditional athletes are athletes, then these people are athletes. And I decided from that point, the thought process was, these people are athletes in their own right. And I've been very fortunate in the world of athletics over the course of a 30-year career to meet the top nutritionists in the world, the top formulators, some people that bring in the top raw materials in the world. And again, those people then in turn know the top manufacturers. And it dawned on me, I called one of these scientists and I said, do you think there's a place for us to come up with a product line that is specifically designed for wilderness athletes? At the time we didn't have the name, and they all agreed. There's nothing out there like it, and they deserve to have a product dedicated to them. So I think what I bring to the table here is the fact that I've been in athletics my entire life, and it's been a real blessing, and I've met some incredible people. And the ability to take and translate my experiences into the wilderness athlete, I think, is very relevant. You have to understand, in my world of training traditional athletes, if I were to promote a product and they test positive, I would be unemployed the next day. So things really need to be squeaky clean in the world that I lived in. But again, having known the top researchers in the world, that's where I started. I talked to a couple of the friends that I've known in the nutritional world who were in touch with and had relationships with the top performance research scientists, and from there we then found the top formulator, because what you need to understand is you can have the top science and research, but it's the formulator that you have to have. The formulator pulls it all together. So once we brought those two together, now we have science and the great formulators. Then we had to be able to access the top raw materials in the world. which is harder than it sounds. But we were able to do that, again, through their relationships. I'm just the guy who's fortunate enough to know those people. And then the fourth part of the equation is having solid manufacturing practices, what they call GMP, good manufacturing practices, and then using an NSF certified facility, which the USDA considers the highest certified facility there is. And we have satisfied all four of those. Again, to recap, the science and research, the formulators, the raw materials, and the right manufacturing facilities. At Wilderness Athlete, we have all four. I'm honored to be a part of this company, and I'm glad you found it, and I hope you enjoy it.